Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Warbirds tournament and From the Depths. As always, I am your host, Chromoid, and in this second semifinal, we're going to be watching the Hagetaka by Miyuki facing off against the A20 Havoc by Tajimmer. Both of these craft have been absolutely dominant in just about every single fight they have been in. They have ruled the skies without question, but today one of them must fall so that the other may continue on to battle against Hyperpsychos' Twitchy-Shooty to claim the title of the Warbirds champion. Quick note, I have kind of gimped, well, not gimped per se. Tajimmer agreed that in the last few fights, it has been really a no contest thing because his craft simply can't be shot at. I don't think anything in this tournament can outturn it or turn quick enough to actually get a shot at it. It hasn't taken a single. It's taken maybe one hit in its first fight, and that's it. So he has graciously allowed me to change the AI settings on it. All I've done is extended the attack run by 100 meters, and I've lengthened the time to attack, or the time till it re-engages by 4 seconds. So it was at 1 second, it would re-engage every 1 second, and now it will re-engage every 5 seconds. So hopefully that will make this a little bit more interesting for everyone to watch, and maybe give the Hagetaka a little more of a chance. Although I'm not sure it needs it. It has a very, very fearsome gun, and it's pretty agile itself. So let's just see how these two get along today. Warbirds ready? Let's dogfight. Oh well. There's a seat on there. There we go. Oh, the A20 fell into the ocean. That's unusual. It doesn't normally start off that way. It did get a shot off. Didn't do any damage. I'm not too worried. It has proven before that it is very capable of coming back up out of the water quite handily. There it is. Fly, A20, fly. I haven't changed the height settings or anything on it. It's just, I guess it decided to fall into the ocean that time. There we go. Turning on the tail of the Hagetaka, there's those massive frag rounds coming in. A little bit of damage to the Hagetaka, not much it would seem. It's flipping around to get a shot on the A20, and here we go. Here's the Hagetaka's gun. Hagetaka, no, it didn't. It does have, the Hagetaka does seem to have a bit of a problem with lining up directly on its target sometimes. I have noticed that. That said, it is at least getting a fair chance to turn around and shoot at the A20. Oh dear, that was blazed right over the top of the Hagetaka. Then you see now the A20 is not immediately turning to pursue the Hagetaka. It'll go like this for a little bit and give it a chance to turn around. That said, it's still turning quite quickly, and the Hagetaka is suffering severely from an inability to. It makes these long sweeping turns. It likes to make these long turns, and so far it's played well to its advantage, but it's just not quite getting around to get its guns to bear on the A20. Oh my goodness, this is going to be another slaughter for the A20. It certainly looks that way right now. The Hagetaka is now at 98%. It's the only thing taking damage in this fight so far. But now it might have a chance if it can nose up. And again, flying way too steady and straight, it's just not able to pitch up and do what it needs to do to hit that A20. And it seems to be falling. I'm not sure about that. It looks like it's kind of going down and out every time it turns. The props seem to be doing alright. A20's not getting its guns to bear quite yet. Hagetaka is starting to drop a little. I think it's just because of the tight turns it's making. As we've noticed, it turns almost perpendicular to the ocean, and that sometimes does cause it to drop a little bit. It's not pitching up enough to hit the A20. It needs to climb. There it goes. Now it's climbing. It needs to get some altitude on it. Meanwhile, the A20 is just laying into it with these long-range frag bursts. It's not going to do much at that range. It needs to get itself a little closer for that shotgun effect to come into true form here. Unfortunately, it's not going to be able to because the Hagetaka was much higher than it, and it couldn't nose up in time. These aircraft do seem to have a bit of a problem with nosing up and down to get their targets. I've noticed that a lot of the Warbirds in this tournament have trouble with that. I'm not sure why that is. It's just a thing, I guess. Maybe the AI being silly. The Hagetaka is definitely doing it just fine in this. It's not hurting at all. It's missing some tailplanes, maybe a propeller piece or two, but nothing really critical. It's just not quite able to get onto the A20 there. And I was going to climb straight up for a minute here, get itself some more altitude, level off. It does like to fly at high altitudes. It does not like low altitude fighting, as you've seen. Ooh, some more pieces coming off the back. I'm not sure what those were. That looked like an engine component, which would be very unfortunate if the Hagetaka just lost some engine pieces, because that engine is what makes it so fast. Yeah, I can't tell. It's moving a little too fast for me to really keep up with it effectively, and my computer's not that good. At this rate, the A20 will still win this because the Hagetaka simply isn't turning fast enough to take advantage. I don't know. It's had plenty of time. It's not the A20's turning. I mean, it is the A20's turning ability, getting it on target, but at the same time, the Hagetaka just isn't lining up right. You see that? It's just not lining up the way it's supposed to. Going to try to come around again here. It doesn't turn as fast as it could. I mean, I know it's missing a bunch of tailplanes. That's part of the problem. But even earlier, when it had all of them, it couldn't quite line up a shot on the A20. And this isn't the only. The A20 is not the only craft that's had an opponent that struggles with this. Just the ability, not necessarily to turn, but the ability to get on target to where the gun can actually fire. And the Hagetaka just seems to struggle with that concept right now. If it keeps trying to turn fight at this low altitude, it will probably end up falling into the sea and being disqualified, because we have seen in the past the Hagetaka is no good at getting back out of the ocean once it falls in, and this might be it, folks. No, it just barely manages to pull itself out into level again. It needs to go up right now. If it doesn't go up now, it will fall. There it goes. Beautiful. It still seems to be doing okay. 95% though. At that rate, it's just going to keep losing pieces until it falls. It's a great aircraft. It's well designed. Unfortunately, it just doesn't get onto the A20 quick enough. It doesn't finish that turn. Keeps thinking, oh yeah, I've got it, and then it doesn't level out at the last minute there. And you see here, these tailplanes that are missing are now really starting to hurt it. Does it have any repair blocks? No, I'm afraid it does not. It's not moving. It will not repair itself. So that's another thing that it's not have going for it, is the fact that any damage it takes is permanent. Oh no. And I'm afraid, folks, that's it for the Hagetaka. It's just hit the ocean. Let's see if it can pull itself back up. It's still got most of its tailplanes. Maybe it'll do something special. Oh, there it is. I stand corrected. The Hagetaka can get itself out of the sea. It just needs to have most of its rear pieces still functioning. These are both near the 100,000 RP limit, so they do get a 1v1. I didn't forget to check that, which is sad for the Hagetaka. It really could do with having two targets or two Hagetakas, one or the other. There we go. They'll split off here. The A20 doesn't take long to turn around still. It's got a 5-second delay before it turns to re-engage, and it's still... there's another frag round. It does have trouble getting its rounds on target when it's chasing in the rear like that. I don't know why that is. But at this rate, I'm afraid the Hagetaka is going to lose, folks. It's not looking good. It's down to 94% now. It's only a matter of time before something critical goes, and it can no longer perform an emergency. It'll hit the water, and it won't be able to perform an emergency resurface anymore. A20 once more. Let's see if, like with the vampire, let's see if it can come across at a bad time and get the Hagetaka right behind it. It might. It just might. I think it will. Oh dear. And there it goes. The Hagetaka's got the rear of the A20. If it can nose down now, it'll have a great shot. Oh, nose down. Nose down. I said nose down. There we go. Okay. There we go. Shots fired, and the A20 takes damage. Not a lot. Looks like just grazed the tail there. And the Hagetaka is going to take a long time to turn around now. Which gives the A20 plenty of time to do that right there and return the damage back. Again, superficial on both sides. It doesn't seem like either of them really did any lasting damage, but again, with the Hagetaka's case, it's permanent. And I think that might be the case for this one too. Yeah, hasn't lost any blocks for me to tell yet. Terrain's getting involved now. Now the aircraft are going to start acting a little differently because they're flying over terrain, trying to avoid that, and trying to fly at their normal height. Another piece goes off the Hagetaka. It's still at 94%, but even a single block missing could be critical at this point. Depends on what kind of block it is. Oh, and if either of them hits the surface now, it could be very bad. This is not what the Hagetaka wants to be turned for. Oh, and there it goes. The Hagetaka just hit the mountain, but it's okay. It's just the nose. Unfortunately, it's also the gun. So now the Hagetaka has no gun. No way to fight. And now it's going to be fighting a very losing battle against the A20. I might call it here, folks, because as of now, the Hagetaka has no fighting capability and no repair no ability to repair the damage done to its gun. So, it's essentially useless at this point, except for a ramming vehicle, and I don't see it ramming the A20 anytime soon in this century. So, yeah, I'm gonna say we'll give it another minute here, I think, and then we'll call it. I don't want to drag this out. I'm pretty sure the A20 has this in the bag now. Even if it rams the Hagetaka, I'm pretty sure it will win, unless it's just a real freak accident, which I don't think will happen. It's actually pretty tanky itself. Come on, nose up, big guy. There it goes. Hagetaka's come within break-off distance. The A20 is going to fly off and then re-engage. No problem for it. It can spin on a dime. There you go. Push the cannons back down. Shred some more pieces off. Oh, that might have been important. The Hagetaka. Nope, that's okay. See, it's lost a lot of weight in the front. So, there you go. 200. It's okay. And more. Ooh, bunch of pieces just shredded off the back of it. Oh dear. Yeah, folks, I don't like the Hagetaka's chances at all. It's just getting pounded now. It's losing more and more maneuverability, which only gives the A20 more time to get a hold of it. Trying to find this altitude. I think it's okay still. Yeah, 200 is fine. It's maintaining altitude well, and if it had its gun still, it actually could have gotten a few shots off by this point, but yeah, no, I don't see this turning out well for the Hagetaka. It's down to 76%. It's lost health rapidly in the last minute and a half. The A20 is getting multiple bursts off on it because of its new flight pattern due to the damage, just giving it about 2 bursts, giving the A20 2 bursts every pass. And eventually, it's just a matter of time before those props on the back are shot out or those tailplanes go completely, and it spirals out of control. There we go. More frags coming in. Another burst in about 3, 2, 1. Nope, nope, no 2 bursts that time, just 1. 77. Surprised it hasn't hit, the A20 hasn't hit an ammo barrel yet. I mean, I guess the Hagetaka could conceivably win by a head-on ram. The AI is pretty close to the nose of the A20. Oh no. Oh, no, that might be it, folks. There is something exploding off the back of the Hagetaka there. It's still alive, but it's at 75% health. It went from 77 to 75, and now it's down to still 75. Yeah, it's over, folks. The Hagetaka has nothing left. It cannot fight. All it can do is fly around and be a little, provide a little target practice for the A20 to shoot at. Alright, well, I'm going to let this be it right here. We're going to call this round for the A20, and we'll get round 2 underway in just a minute. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, once more with round 2 of the second semifinal, A20 Havoc versus the Hagetaka. I'm going to be riding in the Hagetaka this time, not that it really matters, just, you know, in case I decide to do locked third person from the aircraft's point of view. And we'll go ahead and get this underway. Last round, remember, the A20 crippled and basically eliminated the Hagetaka by rendering it useless. And we'll see now if it can carry that victory 2-0, or if the Hagetaka's got something special under its hood. You know, besides a Gatling gun that outfires everything else in this tournament. Warbirds ready? Dogfight. A20 is making its turn. It doesn't fall into the ocean this time like it did last time. Got some early shots off where they went wide. Hagetaka is running. It's like, no, bruh. No, please. Senpai. Senpai, no. Okay, let's see if it can... Oh, and the A20 has sunk again. See if the Hagetaka can come down. No. Oh, come on. Nose down. I don't understand why this thing doesn't nose down. The A20 is right there. It had a beautiful shot. It could have just nosed down a little bit and taken it, but now it's missed that opportunity. Oh well. More wide shots. A few tail planes off for the Hagetaka. Come on, loop around. Get some shots off this time. There it is. There it is. Ooh, a big burst going to the right wing of the A20, nearly severing it completely. And the A20 Havoc, for the first time in 3 fights, is down to 96%. Well, if nothing else, the Hagetaka has just managed to do more damage to the A20 in a single round than anyone's ever done to it in its entire lifetime in this tournament. It's just that the Hagetaka still struggles to get itself lined up. It turns in time. It just, I don't know, something about the programming. It just doesn't want to see it's going to turn. Maybe it's the way the A20 is coming in. It gets about right there, and then it doesn't finish. It just passes by. Ooh, sorry, I just got shot. And you can bet that the Hagetaka just took damage there if I'm getting shot. This will clear up in just a minute here. Sorry, folks. The hazards of riding in an open cockpit. I'm pretty much in an open cockpit. I'm protruding from this metal beam here. Easy pickings for that. Those massive frag rounds coming out of the A20. There we go. It's clearing up now. And again, it's just the A20 doing the damage and the Hagetaka running away and just not quite looping around in time. It's got too wide of a turn radius, I think. We've seen aircraft that turn much sharper than it. And so even with the A20, a little gimped, if you will, it doesn't lock onto its target like a homing missile. It's still is unable to the Hagetaka is still unable to get itself around to shoot at the A20, and right there, if it kept turning just a little bit more, I guess the collision avoidance and the AI is telling it to turn away at that point, so it's just not getting enough distance. But that's its fault. It should turn itself around a lot quicker if it wants to get a shot. The A20 is a good piece away when it starts to turn, and it just never seems to be able. Okay, maybe it'll get it this time. Nope. Still nothing. Again, that nosing down problem for the Hagetaka is really hurting it. I think it's an elevation. Yeah, it's an elevation mantlet in the gun, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to be doing much for it. Again, 1 meter elevation mantlets don't do much of anything. Let's be honest. Okay, oh, I stand corrected. It's able to shoot. Whew, that was a close shot. Hagetaka just missed ramming that behemoth right there. I don't think that would have gone well for the Hagetaka. The A20 has the armor and the mass advantage over it. I'm not controlling the weapons good. Just making sure. Well, the Hagetaka is still in this. It's still firing. It's still fighting. It's just not doing a lot. I don't think the A20 has repair bots either, which is significant because it means all damage done to either side in this match is permanent. So there's no repairing, no coming back from whatever's done. You just have to struggle along with what you got. And now terrain is coming into play. Oh, this could be tricky. Don't go into space, Hagetaka. I'm going to go with it just to make sure we don't go into outer space trying to go over this cliff. It should start to turn soon, so we'll get off of this. Nick has fixed the issue of aircraft trying to fly straight into outer space when they go over terrain, which is nice. Yeah, it's fine. The A20 is going to struggle trying to get up here without ramming itself. Oh, it just rammed. How did it... Oh my goodness, the wheels just saved it. Folks, the wheels do not take collision damage, and it hit the mountain with the wheels and bounced off of it, completely unharmed. Yep. That is brilliant. Unfortunately, the Hagetaka does not have wheels, so it cannot do the same if it rams that mountainside like it did last time. Okay, take this off. They have a high-altitude dogfight over the mountainside here. This gives me very, very risky for either of the aircraft. Again, the A20 and the wheels, it got lucky and saved it, but I wouldn't count on that happening again. All it takes is a really bad angle, one tilted wing for just a half second, and the A20 is going to take a lot of damage from that mountain if it hits it. I think they're getting off of it now. Nope, Hagetaka still wants to play on the mountainside. Ooh. It might be time to abandon ship. This is getting really painful. Yeah, I'm jumping out. Banzai! Hot drop complete. I am out of that thing. We're going to follow it from this perspective from here on out just so I don't get fragged again. Whew. Yeah, the Hagetaka is really struggling now. It's lost a lot of control surfaces. As we've seen before, it's the bane of all aircraft in this. Oh, but it's got a shot. It's got a shot, and it took it. Pieces come off of the A20. Apparently not very critical pieces because it's still flying. It's taking some pieces out of the back of that tail there. This is a very good duel. The Hagetaka and the A20 are both going at now 96% on each side. This might be a long one, folks. But at least the Hagetaka has its gun, and it's getting shots now. It has not imploded on the side of a mountain, and is definitely still contending. Remember, anyone who made it to these semifinals didn't get here just by being cheesy or by, sheer luck. They have some amazing aircraft if they made it this far. I'm sure some are more dominant than others, but they're all, at this point, they're all top-notch. Heck, most of the aircraft in this entire tournament were top-notch, but these are the best of the best. So do not be surprised to see these matches going for a little while. See a lot of changes in the balance and the, what you thought you would see. these aircraft are going to surprise you. And this Hagetaka, it doesn't seem to be doing much with those cannon rounds, but trust me, over time, that if it keeps hitting the same spots, that damage will build up, and you'll see some major chunks come out of the bottom of that A-20. Although all it really has to do is take out the surfaces, the wings and such, on the edges there, and the A-20 will be hosed. Unfortunately, the Hagetaka uses solid Sabo rounds, or some sort of solid round. It has no flak or frag burst on it, so it doesn't do that valuable area of effect damage on vulnerable wing surfaces and such. We saw with the Killer B, that can be very effective to have. Unfortunately, with Killer B's case, it was in a 2v3 match with something very, very much like the A-20 that could turn on a dime and get behind it, where it's very vulnerable, like this Hagetaka. In fact, the Hagetaka and the Killer B are more similar than you might think, the exception being the gun style. The Hagetaka, of course, has that very rapid-fire machine gun, and the Killer B had direct-fed cannons that just kind of fired all together at once and then waited to reload. They're both very effective in their respective fights. Be interesting to see how they handled against each other. You know, they're both about the same RP, so they get a 1v1 fight, Hagetaka versus Killer B. I'm willing to bet that would be quite something to behold. They're both mostly metal with, you know, these vulnerable backsides. I think the Killer B is a little more exposed than the Hagetaka is, honestly, but we'd have to see. It would do a lot more damage per shot, for sure. But again, the Hagetaka's slow turn radius is just causing it to lose this fight right now. It's not the A-20. Well, it is. I mean, the A-20 is strong. It is a strong aircraft, but it's more than a fair fight now. As we've seen, the Hagetaka can get shots off, and it's definitely not the fastest turning aircraft we've seen in this. And by fast turning, I mean fastest turning by, you know, tailplane aileron combination, not variable thrust like the A-20. The A-20's first opponent, the T-33 Backrider, was far more agile than the Hagetaka is, and it couldn't even begin to touch the A-20 with the original settings. So with these settings, I'd actually be interested to see how the T-33 does again. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll do some special episodes after this tournament is officially concluded. At this point, I'm afraid we might just be in another holding pattern waiting for the Hagetaka to take critical damage, because it's simply not getting around quick enough. It's trying oh so hard, but it's so damaged now, I think it's actually struggling to get itself onto the A-20, and every time, about every 2 or 3 passes, the A-20 gets another burst, and that's just more damage that the Hagetaka cannot repair, more control surfaces it will not have to steer itself with, less speed for it to get away from the A-20, and there's some more pieces, a big flurry of pieces. That Hagetaka went from 94 down to 89% with that one burst. I'm not sure what got hit there. It looks like a lot of tail pieces and wings got shorn off there. It's still flying. It's a very, very well built aircraft, but I'm afraid it's not much longer for this world. It's got a mad A-20 on its tail, and those 4 guns on its nose mean business. They mean the business, if you know what I mean. They mean to give it the business. Okay, I'll stop now. Oh man, it's been a good fight. It's been a very good fight. I'm afraid this might be the end of the Hagetaka. It's just hit the water. We'll give it a chance to see if it can pull itself back out. The A-20 is not going to nose down for that. It does not care to go diving. It has before in the past, but apparently this time it's looking at the big old bucket-shaped hole in its wing and saying, yeah, you know what, I'm good, Gov. You can go drown yourself over there. The Hagetaka's not done yet, though. Such a shame. It came up in exactly the wrong place, or exactly the right place if you're the A-20 Havoc. Right in front of those 4 guns. And now the A-20, all it has to do is just chase it and wait for it to come back down. Or maybe pitch its own nose up, maybe. A20. Oh, here it goes. It's going to fall right in front of the A20. It's going to try to turn and present that broad, flat top surface that it does not want to be giving. Oh, no, maybe the A20 is going to overshoot it, it looks like. Yep, A20 overshot. It almost had a clean shot at this. That profile right there is the best shot you're ever going to get at the Hagetaka. Unfortunately, it's been damaged so badly, it drops very, very suddenly every time it makes a turn, and I think that's just going to be it, folks. It cannot control itself anymore. It can't chase the A20. We're going to give it another shot here and see if it can get a lucky shot on the A20 as it comes back up. I doubt it. There it is, trying to come back up. It's going to come up right in front of the A20 again. Oh, nope, nope, it came up right behind it. Oh, and it got shots off too, okay. Good on ya, Hagetaka. Come on, nose down again. More shots. Alright, it is still in this, folks. I was discounting it, but the Hagetaka is not done yet. It shreds more wing pieces off the side of the A20. I have been told by Tajimmer, and he boasted at least, that the A20 can fly with one wing missing. So I'd love to see the Hagetaka put that theory to the test, but I don't think it's got the chops left to do it. It's been taken down to 87% with that one burst, and you see the blocks flying everywhere. Oh, those look like engine components. Yes, those are engine components coming out of it. It's not much longer for this world. Yeah, the whole left side of the engine has just been carved out by that burst, and it's going to hit the mountain or the water. I just don't think it has it left in it, folks. It doesn't have any fight left in it. It has fought hard, but the Hagetaka, I think, like so many before, it has finally met its end at the hands of the A20, its deadly 4-barreled gun. Another burst just to seal the deal here. Maybe one more? Nah. The Hagetaka is still flying, so I'm not disqualifying it yet, but it's limping. It's limping badly. And I doubt it's got enough left to turn around quickly and get that gun to bear. The gun still seems to be working just fine, which is great, but without an aircraft to point it in the right direction, it's essentially useless. And the Hagetaka keeps drifting lower and lower and making wider and wider turns. It's going to try to go up over this mountain and make a right-hand turn. I'm not sure it's the smartest thing for it to do. Oh, okay, it can do it. I mean, if you can pull it off, go for it. Live your dreams. More tail fins, more tail planes being lost to the Hagetaka. Just look at the shower of blocks every time now that the A20 hits. It's just confetti everywhere. And it's going to drop right in front of the A20, and the A20 is going to dodge it because it's too close. It does break off at 125 meters, so it was well below that when the Hagetaka dropped in front of it. And funny though it might be, the A20 does not want to hit the Hagetaka and jeopardize any chance of winning at this point because it has taken some damage. It's down to 97%. But yeah, folks, I think the Hagetaka is done. It doesn't have a lot of thrust left. Its engine's gone or damaged. It's going to try one more time to bring itself back up from the bottom of the ocean. I like this view. You can see the whole seafloor here. From the depths, you're so silly. It's going to come back up. It's going to try one more time. The Hagetaka takes to the skies one more time. It's going to try to go after the A20, wherever it is. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's not good. Fortunately, the A20 is agile enough to avoid that collision. But oh, and now it's overshot. Can the Hagetaka lower its gun? It did, but it didn't have enough control to aim the gun properly, and so it's missed once more. And now the A20. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's not nice. A20. Stop playing with your food. Finish it. Come on, A20. Oh, this is just cruelty. Cruelty to small delta wings. Don't do this. Finish it. Finish it. Come on. I mean, it's obvious. The Hagetaka, it's fought well, it's fought hard, but it is done, folks. The Hagetaka has taken such a beating, and it cannot repair any of that damage. Even if it had, and even if it could, it would only have one repair bot. That's the rules, and one repair bot's not going to repair all this in time for it to be avoiding disqualification, and it can't even come up anymore. The Hagetaka, folks, has fallen for the last time, and your winner of round 2 of the semifinal, and the winner of the entire semifinal, I'm sorry, is the A20 Havoc. And I was wrong, it does have a repair bot. It's been repairing this whole time, but look at that. Damaged for the first time since I don't know when the A20 had to fight for this one. But it's going on to face its long-lost cousin, the Twitchy-Shooty, in the finals. Congratulations to Jimmer. You're going on to contest for the championship, and my condolences to Miyuki. I don't even know where aircraft there is. I'm so sorry, man. Your Hagetaka stops here. It fought very well. It was very dominant in its performance, but now it's done. It's going to take a bath, and it's going to take a long rest in the ocean. Until next time, folks, I have been Chromoid, and this is the Warbirds Tournament. I'll see you next episode on the final. Bye-bye.